Oh, forget that.
It's kind of a follow-up question to you. I mean,
Yes, what is it?
Follow-up.
Yeah.
Because since you were saying that you wanted to have some guidance from us, so maybe this one, since you are close friends with Congressman Gregory,
Yes.
who is the chairman of the
Foreign Affairs.
And maybe, as you already mentioned, South Korean President Moon, she proposed for the declaration of the end of the Korean War.
Yeah.
And North Korean leader, the sister of Yeojung Kim, she answered positively about that. They are open to discuss about that declaration. And we, as we mentioned, we are waiting for the answer from the United States. And maybe you can recommend writing a letter to the President Biden with Gregory Meeks.
Well, we have to see if he's willing to do it, but okay.
Maybe just simply asking them to declaration, the ending the Korean War. Simple declaration will be good idea. There's nothing to do. Just we have a lot of things to do. Maybe just do it simple thing first.
Okay, we'll do that.
Ending the war first.
So Nick, you have to send me an email after this to me and Mike about a letter to the president regarding the Korean War, and we have to see if I can get Greg Meeks to sign it with me.
Yeah, maybe.
Peninsula Act, and we deeply appreciate that you are actually co-sponsoring this. And my question is, how much realistic chance do we actually have regarding this bill? I know there are only like 22, and they're all Democrat. There's only one Republican.
Well, listen, it's not like it's going to happen tomorrow.
Right.
And I think that the advice that was given to try and get the chairman and I to send a letter to the president is a good way to get it kick-started. It's just difficult with all the things going on to get other people's attention. But I'm making this commitment to you that I will continue to work on this, and I'll try and get more people. So how many people are there? 22 people on there now?
Yeah.
Okay. If there's not 32 people on there by December 31st, then you don't have to vote for me anymore. So I'll get at least 10 more people by the end of the year. Nick, you better remind me of that, okay?
Did you record this?
Sponsor that.
Thank you. Can you explain how the Republican side counterpart responding to this kind of act?
Well, the Republicans will view, understandably, that North Korea is our adversary, that they're communist, and that they're very close to China. So because of those things, they're like, we don't want to even deal with them. Now, they didn't say anything when Trump went to go meet with them, because when it was Trump, anything Trump did, okay, great. But, they never do anything to help advance the idea, because that's their philosophy, is like, communist, enemy, adversary, China. Forget it. No, listen, it's the right thing to want to do. It's just very difficult, especially because it's very hard to trust the North Koreans. It's not the people, it's the government.
I don't know if you remember our presentation last time or not. Actually, North Korea government, they are very worried about China because it's because of the geographic proximity.
Yeah.
Chinese can annex the North Korea anytime.
Yes.
So they are very worried about the Chinese influence. They rather want to be close to South Korea or even like to the United States. That's kind of their sentiment. Even right now,
We don't know if that's true, though.
that is so true. I know through the history that the Korea and China relation is a kind of love and hate relations.
Yeah.
I mean, because we are dependent to the China, but at the same time, Chinese try to colonize Korea so many times.
Yeah.
Through more than 5,000 years. So many invasions, but Koreans survived that kind of influence. North Korea has the same kind of sentiment right now. When President Moon suggested the end of the world declarations, North Korea right now in very dire situations. So because of economics,
Yeah.
because of the infections,
Yeah.
and they want to deal with those kind of things with the help of the South Korea and the United States. This is a very, very important and a very, very strategic moment at this moment. So that we can bring the North Korea to the dialogue. We can, start some conversation on Korean Peninsula peace talk and the denuclearizations. So I think we have a lot of tools at this moment. Separating the North Korea from the China, and also kind of utilizing the situation right now.
But there's no indication that North Korea would give up their nuclear weapon
I mean, until
efforts.
I mean, they have to get us some kind of reassurance from the United States.
Yeah.
So we have to do some actions.
Like what?
I think first step would be like a humanitarian and medical aid to the North Korea, right? So because they responded to the President Moon's suggestion right away. That means in the past, North Korea just sniffed and they just rebuffed. But this time, they responded like in 2 to 3 days. That means they're in a very dire situation there. So, we can utilize this kind of situation. So you better to tell that the foreign affairs chairman.
Yeah.
Well, there's vaccine diplomacy is a good idea
Yeah.
right now.
Sure.
I've been working.
Do you think there's any chance the U.S. can provide vaccines to the North Korea?
That would be a very complicated transaction. I don't know if that would happen unless there was something in return, but I don't have the answer to that.
Because people are saying what North Korea needs the most at this point is rice and vaccines. So I think South Korea can send rice to them, and if U.S. can send vaccines, I think that will be a good excuse for them to come out to the table for more negotiation.
Maybe the U.S. could provide more vaccines, which I'm working on, to South Korea, and South Korea could provide the vaccines to North Korea.
I think the Korean Peninsula, end of the world, the Korean Peninsula is the easier than Afghanistan war, because the Korean both countries leader is prepared, the major peoples support that Korean Peninsula peace. And just Biden has many experience with foreign affairs, and Biden suggested, Biden decided something, and it's very easy. We are prepared there. Just to the congressman support the declaration. I think it's very easy.
No, I'm going to do it.
The thing is this, in Afghanistan we stumbled, when withdrawing, and then we had some. It looks like you're losing something in the other countries the other countries. They see that it's.
But we have to understand what happened in Afghanistan is that under the previous administration, we stopped sending aid to Pakistan. Same as we stopped sending aid to North Korea. We stopped sending aid to Pakistan. Pakistan needed that money. They were already very close to the Taliban. They're from the same tribe, the Pashtuns. And so the Pakistanis started talking with the Taliban again. China has been investing heavily in Pakistan, and China wants to have access to Afghanistan for rare earth materials. So you had China, Pakistan, and probably Iran all putting money into Afghanistan to pay off the different leaders in the different provinces. Because the one shocking thing to everybody was, why did the Afghanis give up so quickly? Because every time I went to Afghanistan, I've been to Afghanistan 2 or 3 times, every time they say, the Afghan military, these are the best fighters ever. They're the most courageous fighters. They never give up. They're amazing. But what happened? They gave up like that. Because a lot of people were paid off, because a lot of money was spread around. And it was helped by the Pakistanis and the Chinese and the Iranians, I think.
Basically, it looks like we're losing in Afghanistan, but if we win North Korea, we are giving a bigger shit to China.
Yeah, but what if we tried to make a deal with North Korea and then they just said, like that, then we'd have another loss. What if they took advantage of it? What if they weren't telling the truth?
We are going to take advantage.
How do you know?
We can do it.
How do you know North Korea will be honest?
We need to start building the credibility. We cannot believe each other one day. We need to build the
Trust but verify.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's not like giving them the all. It's a kind of a beginning, the first step. Humanitarian aid.
Well, we used to do humanitarian aid. It didn't help very much.
Right. I mean,
I want to make it very clear.
Right.
I'm very supportive of this idea.
Right.
I will propose it.
The very important question is immigration reform, as you know.
Yeah.
It's blocked by Democrats. The parliamentarian, Elizabeth McDonough, and the other two.
Yeah. It's not blocked by Democrats. It's blocked by the law. She's saying.
Yeah, I just don't want to even mention about the Republicans. They're 100%
Throw a fire.
against this immigration reform. And Joe Manchin and the other cinema, right? How can we persuade or kind of deal with them to get this law passed?
This is a much longer conversation. I can't stay for it. But it's not about the parliamentarian has to follow what the rules are, and we have to figure out, is there another way we can do it that it fits within the rules? It's not about.
It's only advisory, right?
What's that?
It's advisory, right?
Yeah, but if the parliamentarian says it can't be done, then you put it in, and then it goes to court, and then it gets knocked down. So you have to follow. One great thing about America and South Korea is we follow the rule of law, or we're supposed to. And when we don't follow the rule of law, that's when everything falls apart.